Today we are going to be doing an experiment involving fermentation. Fermentation is a metabolic process that converts sugar to acids, gases, and/or alcohol. It occurs in yeast, bacteria, and other microorganisms, as well as oxygen-starved muscle cells. For this experiment, you're going to need a glass jar, some glucose powder, yeast, measuring utensils, and a balloon. And you'll also need a homemade funnel. This reaction is not hazardous in any way. However, for precautions, you can wear safety gloves and a lab coat. You can now add your ingredients into the glass jar. Start by cutting the yeast packet and add 1 packet of yeast into your glass jar. Now add 1 teaspoon of glucose powder into the glass jar. Next, you need 1 cup of warm water. Once you've got your cup of water, you can pour it into the funnel. Hold your thumb over the glass bottle and mix the ingredients in as well as you can. Now you can take a balloon and immediately add it onto the top of your bottle. Leave the bottle in a warm place to sit for 1 or 2 hours and watch while the balloon inflates with carbon dioxide. You can see how the balloon has begun to rise as it is filled with carbon dioxide gas. When you see that the balloon is not getting any bigger, you know that the reaction has ended. First, remove the carbon dioxide-filled balloon from the glass jar. You can then continue to tie the balloon. Once the balloon is tied, you can gather some string and some scissors. Take the string and wrap it around the largest part of the balloon. Once the string has been wrapped around, tightly hold that point and then slowly remove the balloon while still holding on to that point. You can then mark off that point with a marker. You can then take the marked string and put it against the ruler to measure the length of the string. The length of the string is the circumference of the balloon. Approximate the balloon to a sphere and then use this circumference and the volume of a sphere equation to calculate the balloon's approximate volume. Using this volume and the carbon dioxide's known density, its mass can then be calculated. Begin by blowing up the balloon using the carbon dioxide us as humans breathe out. Continue to blow up the balloon up until the point where you feel that if you blow the balloon any more, the balloon will explode. Once the balloon has been tied, you can then grab some string and scissors. Gather as much string as you can. Try get as much as possible. Then, use the scissors in order to cut the string. As before, take the string and wrap it around the widest part of the balloon. Where the two ends meet, hold tightly to that point, and then you can slowly remove the balloon. Mark off the point you are holding tightly with a marker so as to not lose your place. You can then place the string on a ruler and measure the length of the string. The length of the string is the circumference of the balloon. Approximate the balloon to a sphere and then use the circumference and the volume of a sphere equation to calculate the balloon's approximate volume. Using this volume and carbon dioxide's known density, its mass can be calculated. It can then be assumed that any mass greater than this will cause the balloon to explode.